there. Hey, what's good, man? Hey, you gotta do what we did last time.
What up, Jose?
You gotta put the
I'll do
speaker.
that part. You want me?
Yeah. Yo, we just getting the sound together, brother.
Where's your speaker?
What was this? The speaker. Yep. I think is the volume all the way up? Hold on, yeah.
9.
Which one? Here we go. Is that just me talking like on a repeat? Okay, all right. All right. Yo, Dre.
Peace,
Okay,
Dre.
okay. So when he speaks, just put it there. When we talk, we gotta move off. Yo, how you doing, Andre, man?
Long time.
Yeah, man. The world was a much easier place back then.
Ain't lying about that one.
How you been holding up, bro?
Say
I said, how you been holding up?
I'm trying to do what everybody else is doing, man. Just stay in the house.
Yeah, no, right? Shit, I hope you got some good weed. For real. All you need is weed and a Netflix password during this time.
Yup, pretty much.
And some snacks.
Refrigerator
real.
full of food.
Hell yeah, you good. Hey, since before you was here, we didn't have the addition of our sister Duchess over here. It was just
I was wondering, I'm like, who's this?
hello.
like, who you got in my interview, yo? What the fuck? Shit, man. It's good to see you, though, man. It's good to see you, even though we're not really seeing you.
You're in a different area now.
Yeah, now we bossed up, man. We leveled up.
I see that.
We up in the studio and shit, yo. We not in the crib like we used to, you know? Yo, hey, you either go big or you go home.
Yeah.
That's all you can do, JD.
That's a fact, man. But yo,
I'm messing
when you sent me that press package and I read it, I gotta say, my nigga, like I got a whole like I always have respect for you, but at the same time, like it just kind of grew. I'm like, damn, like I kind of want to give this dude a hug. Like,
All the time, man. They be like, yo, your autobiography, that's your little thing you put up is sometimes better than your books you write, B. So
That's it. That's sympathy hug.
Yeah. Brother Andre.
you gotta go through things to, make life right sometimes.
Exactly.
Now,
Ain't no victim.
I was reading through your bio, and I find it interesting that you, during your early life, that you grew up in Illinois, out there in Detroit. I mean. Now, for you, like the relationship with your parents, how did that like affect you? Talk about that a little bit, if you will.
That pretty much was, you go through life, man. I tell people all the time, even now me having my own kids, I look at my kids, I'm like, yo, I was a little kid, man. I look at my kids, I'm like, how could anybody do half of the shit that anybody can do to a kid like me? You know what I mean? It affected everything, man. Like it made me, I don't think until I actually met my wife, I understood what love was.
Right.
That was something that was just totally different. It just made me, and I think that's probably the reason why I am the way that I am now, because like a lot of stuff people say, you're very different. You're not like everybody else. Well, I didn't grow up with a mother. I didn't grow up with a father. Of course I'm gonna be different. My attitude is gonna be different. My outlook on life is gonna be different. It just really gave me an opportunity to really just say, you know what, life just has to be life. I dwelled on it for a long time, and it wasn't easy. I'm gonna tell you right now, none of it was easy. Like life was tough for a long, long time, especially growing up in I tell everybody I'm a product of the Michigan Department of Children's Services, man. Like that's me. While most kids were out there, playing myself, I was in group homes learning about self-esteem and learning how to control your anger. So it was like I've been trained. From the moment I stepped, I went into foster care. I feel like being a life coach was pretty much easy to become because I had pretty much been trained in a lot of this stuff anyway about just understanding that you can control your own actions. I was told that as a young age.
Wow, that's so interesting. Now becoming how'd you get involved with being a life coach? Because that's to me that's so interesting. It's like almost being a shrink.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I'm married now, but I was married before, and I lived in Florida. Me and my ex-wife, we separated, and it was crazy because I had came back to Boston and was trying to get my life back together. I moved in one of my friends, and everything was cool. And I went one day, and I'll never forget this day. I went on a Thursday morning to go get a bank account open, and they told me they couldn't open a bank account because something happened 5 years ago, even though I paid it, but I still couldn't open it for another year.
Right.
That's that bullshit.
I'm like, so I'm in Madison and I'm driving.
Yo, Dre, you're going T-Pain right now.
Oh yeah, I hear that. What is that?
I wish I could fix it, bro.
Oh yeah, I hear that. What is LMF?
I wish I could fix it, bro. Hold on, let's try that.
I wish I could fix it, bro.
Hold on, let's try that.
Hold on 1 second.
Hold on, let's try that.
Hey, yo, E.
Turn down your volume.
Give me 1 second.
Right there.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
That's perfect.
That's on the money. Take that to the
That's
bank.
perfect.
That's perfect, right?
Yep.
All right, there we go. Never mind, Chick. I got it. I got it.
That sounds right and exact right
It was
there.
easy to hear and keep repeating it though.
All right, let me start that over. You got me?
Yep.
Yeah, that was perfect. All right, stop.
All right, cool.
Yeah, start from there.
All right, so how I became a life coach, real quick. All right, so I got divorced, was living in Florida, got divorced, crazy time, was mad depressed, going through a lot of shit, man. Moved to Boston, and came back and was living in Mattapan, went to the bank, tried to open up a bank account. They was like, nah, you can't open it. You got something that happened like 5 years ago, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, whatever, cool. So I'm driving around trying to cool my mind. All of a sudden, I slam on the brakes, and my car fills up with smoke, like smoke. So at first in my head, my eyes started watering. I'm like, yo, everybody told me that I'm dealing with this divorce like too easy. They're gonna say I'm gonna break down. So I'm like, maybe this is when I'm about to break down. And then all of a sudden I heard this screaming. And this dude, I look up and I see this house, and it's on like the second floor and the third floor, completely on fire.
Oh
Literally
shit.
on fire. White dude hanging out of the window screaming, oh my God, and his friends are down there telling him to jump out of the window. I get out the car, and he's literally about to jump out of this 3-story window. I'm like, nah, man, don't jump. I'm like the voice of reason right there. So he's standing there, and then people calling, the fire department came or whatever. And he said something to me that day that really threw me, because at that particular time, I didn't know what it was to be wanted or like felt like I was actually needed. He said these simple words to me. He said, bro, don't leave me. I need you. And I was just like, you need me? At that particular time, I'm going through a divorce. Everything's gone. I'm back in Massachusetts.
The light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, wow, like he just said he needed me.
Right.
So it was crazy. So I remember it all happened. I talked to the newspaper, blah, blah, blah. But then I went home and I sat down and I was unpacking some of my stuff. And in this envelope, I don't even know when I did it, but it was called NLP, Neurological Learning Programming.
Right.
And I don't know why I found it or how I got to my house or how I even got it in my suitcase. But I opened it up and I started reading it. I'm like, yo, this is interesting as hell.
Now this is in Boston or in Michigan?
This is the Mattapan.
Mattapan, okay. Now let me ask you. I'm sorry to cut your wisdom, God, but I had to ask you, how did you? Like I read your bio, but our viewers don't know. How did you get from Motown to P-Town?
The Beantown.
So Motown to B-Town to P-Town. Because I find it a very interesting.
Yeah,
journey.
it was a crazy journey.
I was homeless, when I went to Michigan State, and I went on Michigan State with a grant. I went to Michigan State with they call it a Pell Grant, and then I also got a foster care grant. They gave foster kids, so I was also got a track scholarship. So I was cool, but I couldn't keep a 3.5 GPA, so I got kicked out of college. So they was like, all right, whatever. So I was homeless for about 8-9 months, literally. And I was like, trying to find jobs and things of the sort. And I went to this one particular place. They told me that, yo, they might hook you up over there. And it was the Battle Creek Foundation, I think it was, or the Kellogg Foundation.
Okay.
It was some of them sorts. I ran into this guy who was hiring. His name was Kevin Tarpley. He was alderman in Somerville. Well, he was a past alderman in Somerville, but he was working there as a director for the program. And he asked me, we was in an interview, and he says, he kept looking at me funny, and I didn't know why. I'm like, yo, this dude's kind of weird, yo. Like,
Right.
But I didn't know what he was doing, and he stopped me. He said, look, man, you can't get hired for this job because you don't have none of the credentials that we need. But he said, there's something going on in your life, isn't it? And I didn't know what the hell to say because no one's never asked me like that.
Right.
So it turned into a 15-minute conversation. It was supposed to be a 15-minute interview. It turned into like 3 hours. We just sat there and we talked. Yeah. I literally, I didn't know this man, but the fact that he was the first person to ever show me, he cared about my thoughts and wanted to know about me, I opened up. And we sat there for a little over 3 hours. And he said, you know what, brother, man, you don't have to ever worry about being homeless or worry about a roof over your head as long as I'm in your life. He threw me the keys to his car. He said, this is my house right down the street. Go get yourself acquainted. And I was just like, yo.
It's lit.
Yeah, that's what's up. God is good all the time.
About politics. He taught me everything about nonprofit programming. So that's all the stuff he did. So he got an opportunity to come back to Somerville, and he was like, yo, Andre, do you want to come to Massachusetts? And I was like, cool, no problem. I was in Detroit, wasn't nothing going on for me, so I was like, cool. So I ended up going to Somerville. I went out to Boston, got some jobs out there, started working with Children's Service of Roxbury. I was a house parent to aging out teens of the foster care system, and I did that, and I started doing some other things, and then the whole thing coming to Providence, man, I just wanted to get away from Boston, man. Boston's too much, I was out there in Roxbury, man. Yeah. That was like one of the toughest parts, man.
That's Niggerville.
I did my thing out there, but at the same time, man, I was like, listen, at that time I had my daughter, she was I think she was 3 at the time, and I had just had my son, so I was like, listen, we gotta try something different, mama. So, I told my wife was cool with it, and we decided to come out to Providence because I had already been in Providence anyway because I wrote a lot of my first book I wrote in Providence, which is crazy. My very first book, and that was The Myths of Single Parenting. I wrote that one. What is that hotel? It was a motel. I don't know what it was. The Rumford Inn. You ever heard of it?
Yeah, yep. I heard about that.
I don't know what it was about that place, but it made me feel like I was back in Detroit, man. It was so gritty.
Yeah. A lot of prostitutes get shot up in there.
And I would literally just go there and just write books, and it felt home, So majority of my stuff. So I ended up here in Providence, and here I am now.
Yo, what a crazy story, man.
And now the book that to actually bring it back to you when you was before you got the hookup when you was homeless. Now I like to tell everybody else, like, when you're homeless, it's not the end. So how was you able to, I know he asked, what was, something's going on in your life. Did you look the part of a homeless person, or was you keeping yourself up during them times?
Oh, no. Detroit, no. You got to keep yourself up. You homeless or not, nobody's supposed to know that, So
exactly.
I was shocked that he actually asked me about that because I'm like, yo, I didn't even know because I looked just like everybody else, but it was, I don't know, I guess it was something that day in his mind. He just looked at me and said, listen, man, there's something on your mind. There's something in your life that's going on. And when I broke everything down to him, man, I don't know. It just became something totally different. And he literally threw me his car keys. He didn't ask me if I had a license or nothing. Just said, hey, take the car. My house is down the street by the high school, blah, 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 blah. Get yourself acquainted. And I was just like, wow, and it's keep in mind, I was 8 months, literally just, you never lived in a shelter. You know about
shelters.
Yes,
yes, I do.
Yeah,
I trust and believe. I know all about that lifestyle.
Yeah, man, it's not a good feel, man.
Exactly.
I was 20. I think I was
wow.
18, 19. No family, no nothing, and it was just that.
Rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother story how my family came about. But I finally found them years later. But
that's good.
Story too.
That's good. Now your book, Myths of Being a Single Parent. Now, is this based off of your actual life of you living a single parent life? Or
my ex-wife, she decided to keep my son. And it bothered me because I knew I was the better parent, and it bothered me, and I wanted to be a part of his life. And you know how that story goes. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's got their own issues and stuff. And I even lied to you. You know, it's one of those situations where it's like, you know, you just have to do what you got to do in those things and just accept life for what it is and move on. You know, and that's kind of what it was. But it bothered me that she wanted to be a single mother, and
Oh yeah,
and
we know a lot of
bothered
those.
me. I couldn't find any other avenue to like understand single parenting. So what I for some odd reason, I just started researching it and started researching the goods, the bads, and all those things. And I just said one day, I was like, you know what, this is my first book. And I said, you know what, maybe I should just write a book. And I wrote the book, and it was almost like it was therapy for me than anything else because I wanted to feel okay with everything. I wanted to know everything, every aspect that could happen from being a single parent and raising a child by itself. So it was one of those things where it was like, okay, well, it was alarming, but it was also soothing for me as well. It's okay, if this is the path she want to take, then that's the path she want to take. I got to know everything about it. It just happened. I was writing stuff down. It just actually became a book. And that, you know, that's a single parent. It became what it was.
Okay.
And it's actually one of my best-selling books right now, honestly.
Yeah, that's
Hey.
congratulations.
Thank you.
How long before you were single? You was a single parent before you met your wife now?
Say it one more time.
How long was you single before you met your wife now?
Oh no, my wife, I knew her anyway. You know, it was one of them situations where it's like I knew that she was the one for me, but I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Did you have?
I know what you mean.
Did you have trust issues too? Like I know I had like the. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
No, trust. Nah, I would tell people. I tell you like this. I didn't become this till about like I became a life coach in 2014, and I was still going through my struggles in life and just trying to figure things out. It wasn't until I moved here to Providence where I realized where I separated myself from everything and I became about my family. All I had to do was focus on my wife and my 2 kids. So I knew my wife, like, we've been knowing each other about 10 years. We've been married for about 3 now. But I knew her a long time before that. And I knew she was the one for me, but it was one of them things, you know, when you're young, you know, I was like about 26, 27 when I first met her. And, you know, you're young, you're out there doing your thing, you know. I was really fine. So it was a whole different lifestyle. So but I knew her way before then.
Because I know, like, when I went through my adoption story, you know, like, it gave me hardcore trust issues. Like, I don't trust shit. Like, and I know that I'm better than that.
Hey, why are you looking at me, nigga? You're looking at us talking about you don't trust shit, nigga.
Damn.
Nah, fuck you, man. I love you guys.
I see that nigga. You've been
Nah, but I, like, now on some real shit, like it gave me like real trust issues, especially like in my relationships. But I'm amazed. Like, I'm really proud of you for you know going through all of these things after reading your whole bio and like you've been in my home and you a real down brother. Like like most people will go through that hard shit and become
hard.
and just be someone else and shit.
Yeah.
But
hold on, I got a question.
Think for me, and there's people go through things, but I think the biggest part for me to why I actually got past being hard, because there was a point in my life where I was like nobody could get close to me whatsoever. But I think I had to realize that, you know, you have to go through life and understand that some people are just not gonna like you, and that's just that. You know, especially when you're doing things. When you're doing what you're actually supposed to do in life, people are not supposed to like you, especially when you're at that level. When you're not at that level and you're trying to compete with people and you're trying to like be a people pleaser. I was definitely a people pleaser. I did that a lot. Like, I would sacrifice my own happiness for other people just so I could try to fit in. But I always knew, and I think people too always knew that I was nothing like them. So they would treat me like that. And I would surround myself around this stuff because I felt like, even with my father, I'm like, you know, my own father used to beat me and shit like that. I'm like, okay, well, that's love. Like, he's showing me that he needs me. And it was a very hard, until I had my own kids, and I'm like, wait a minute.
I can't be doing that.
How you supposed to treat you ain't supposed to be beating on your kids like that. Be like, that's not how life really was. So I started to realize a lot of different things that you have to understand that people are not going to like you when you're really being your true self. When you're your true self, people are not going to like you. And it's a narcissistic type shit, but it's true. You know what I mean? Like, people...
Talk your shit.
Yeah.
I mean, when people see you and like people see me and think I just have the greatest life. I don't have the greatest life. I just make my life great. You know, I don't complain about it. I know things are gonna happen, and it's just that. But when I'm focused and I'm doing my things, like I have a problem with sleeping. Before I used to just sit up and just get drunk and high all day. This was like 10, 15 years ago until I started to realize that, and I think it was like in 2010, I took that and said, you know what, I'm just gonna start working out. And I started working out, and I started playing semi-pro football again and doing things like that. And then it went to a point of me like, okay, well, I really want to understand about business. And I started understanding about business. So now I can sit up for like 13, 14 hours a day and just like at night and just really, focus on, creating something. And that's kind of, I find different avenues to be able to change and like, feel like, life is in my control. Like no one's in control of my life but me. And that's just how I operate. I love everything about, just the aspect, like, and even when the negative things happen, you just understand, like, yo, that's just happening for a reason. And sometimes that shit that's happening for a reason can push you to a whole different level. And I look at everything that's happened to my life, from like being homeless to, going through a divorce to, my son being taken away to now I'm sitting here like 7 years later. I got 2 beautiful kids. I got a beautiful wife. I got a great career. You couldn't tell me this 7 years ago when I was going through that shit. Nobody could tell me that whatsoever.
That's the beauty of life.
I'm just glad I'm in the situation I'm in now.
Hell yeah, so, sort of like Jonah in the belly of the beast.
Oh, look at this nigga get biblical.
Ooh.
Look at this nigga know his scriptures and shit. Okay.
You get heavy in here.
Word. Hey. It's better to kick ass than kiss it. That's 100%.
Exactly. And I went through that phase too. I did that stuff too, man, until I realized, like, listen, you might be a little, I'm not the smartest person, but I know I'm smart enough to know if I don't know something, to get somebody to know it and do it for me,
That's smart, though. That's smart.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
all the
and I
time.
do it a lot,
These brothers trying to come up with some bullshit knowing that you don't know shit.
I call that boss
I don't,
move.
like a lot of stuff that I do, I don't really do it. I just get third parties to do it for me, and like that's
Smart
business.
shit.
Yo,
Hey, wait, hold on. These motherfuckers been hogging the questions all fucking interview.
Go ahead, V.
I got something to say. All right, yo. so, get into how did you come up with the Love Doctor? Talk about Darius. Am I saying it right? Dartavius. Yeah, get into Dartavius, yo. You know me, I gotta ask the fuck shit questions.
My wife hear that name, she might have to make me hang up this whole.
Yeah, I know what you mean, bro. I know what you mean.
Listen, Dartavius was my alter ego. I don't know why I came up with that name. I don't know what it was, but I was working at an intern for Touch 106 in Boston, and then people were like saying, like, yo, you should really, start doing radio. Like, you get on radio and things like that.
Yeah, you got the voice for it.
He gave me an opportunity to host with one of the other dudes, and me and him just hit it off. But then I was a nightclub promoter too as well. So I started doing nightclub promoting, and that's when Dartavius really came out, because I'm a Detroit dude. I love wearing suits, so I'm a Detroit. You know Detroit.
And you got that Motown in you too, so.
Dartavius Promotion presents.
Your word. Hold on.
I think majority of the time, like, I was a really good promoter, but I think I was the only good promoter because I dressed well. It wasn't anything else. Like, we didn't have, like, we had.
And you big too, bro. And you big too, so you look like you could fuck them up.
Yeah, that too, It
Like, yeah, for real. Like, yo, what's up, man? You getting down with us or what? Shit.
But now Dartavius was like a whole different thing, man. Like, that was my, and I brought it up because I took my own show. I did my own show, the Midnight Train Express, and that was my late night show. I started doing that, and I started doing that show on other local radio stations out there in Boston. It was basically R&B at night. My R&B that I like, not that. That crazy stuff we hear now.
Yeah, not that crying with auto-tune and shit.
Word.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
you.
I'm no auto-tune, man. And I got really big off that, man. But it was just like, it's always there. I think about it all the time, man. But like, Dartavius, yeah, he gone, he like that guy.
Yo. Damn, man, I had this fucking question. Shit. Hey, what is it? Talk about the book No Capping, because I got a great idea. And I guess Dartavius is like your Stefan Urkel. to your Steve Urkel, which is Andre Wright. Even though you're not, a nerd, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, nigga. Don't fuck me up.
Yeah. Yo, it's crazy. I wrote that book like 4 years ago in my wife's sister-in-law's bathroom.
I like the way this man works, man.
No, it's crazy though because like she had this really nice bathroom where it was. I don't know why it became like the spot. When we was in the hood, it's like the bathroom was like the spot where everybody would just go there to smoke and talk.
yeah.
It was some weird as shit. I don't know why. It was just hood. But I came up with the idea there, and I just started writing this, and I had it for like 4 years. And I literally didn't look at it until a couple of days ago. I had a hard drive, not a couple of days ago, but before Christmas, I think it was. And I said, oh, I still got this book, so I touched it up. But Dartavius, I can't really tell you about, because it'll ruin the whole thing, but his love interest, I tell you this much. His love interest that he's cheating with is his girlfriend's best friend.
Oh shoot. Yo, when I was reading the summary, bro, I was like, yo, you gotta give me a copy. Like, that shit was juicy, my dude. And then another thing, though, right? That's a movie, man. Like, yo, I'm working on getting, like, a little production team going on. So, if you want me to play Dartavius, man, let me know. We can shoot this motherfucker. We can shoot this.
I wrote Nevaeh's Revenge. I've been started writing Nevaeh's Revenge because I wanted to come from a part of where she's telling the story from where I left off in the end of the book.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I mean... But I got mad books. That's kind of like my insurance policy for my kids. I'm like, if something ever happens to me, if I die or something like that, it's like, that's my insurance policy to make sure, like they can take them and like do whatever they want with them and stuff like that. So it's kind of like one part of my insurance policy for my children.
No, that's dope. That's dope.
A smart idea.
That is.
Yeah.
As I'm saying though, man, that's a movie in the making, man. Holla at me, man. We can get some people down. We can get a production crew because that's what I'm trying to work on, man. And we can shoot this.
Word.
Like, for real. Because
listen,
send me the book. I definitely want to read it.
You know how I get down, man. If you're really about putting in some work on it, man, I'm the man. Because you know how I am.
Exactly.
If I don't know it, I'll figure it out, or I'll find somebody to figure it out for me, B.
Yeah, because we work. No, that's why I fuck with you, man. I see a little similarities. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Because we always trying to, get black businesses, just black actors, comedians, like everybody just work together, especially in Rhode Island and New England. Because we got voices out here, 100%.
I don't hear anybody say, man, because cats in Boston be talking about Rhode Island all the time, man. I'm like, listen,
I know, they hate
y'all
us.
don't get it, because I live out here now. Like, there's some talent in Rhode Island. Let's be clear.
That's right.
The hell yeah.
Like, I've been in contact with some people. Like, take it a step further. Like, but I think that's probably one of the things I think is probably the hardest thing with a lot of people out here is like getting them to take that next step. And they look at me like, well, how do you do it? It's like, no, I just put my left foot forward and I put my right foot after that one. It's that simple, But
you just got to try.
I don't know. There's a lot of history out here I don't know, but I try to, listen as much as I can at the same time. But then there's just some stuff I'm just like, listen, I don't want no part of that. I live a peaceful life. I ain't got no drama, so I just keep it to myself majority of the time.
Yeah, I feel you. So that's what you got to do, man. Damn, it sucks, man, because we're kind of pressed for time. I wish we could do this, interview a little longer. You know what I'm saying? Because we kind of getting right into the meat of it.
No doubt.
Just hit him up on Sunday.
What is it? We definitely got to get you to come back, obviously, man. Hopefully, we could actually do an in-person interview.
Man, we good.
Now, I would love to do an in-person interview, obviously because of COVID and everything, but, just see how things go, down the line in the year. I'm definitely going to hit you, definitely going to keep the contact and the contact lines definitely clear. What is it? Tell the people where they can, get your books at and where they can find you.
And are you still hosting any meetings for Thinking Like a Black Man in Providence?
Did she even, did he get that?
Volume went off.
Yo, Dre.
I don't know. I just got to hear fucking keep their heads ringing now.
Can you hear that better?
Okay, no. We can hear you.
Say that again, sis.
Are you holding
hear
any
me?
meetings?
Yeah, we can hear you. Are you holding any more meetings?
You, testing.
Yo, yo.
Dre, are you doing any more meetings
Oh,
with Thinking
meetings?
Black Men?
I'm not sure. I kind of been like taking a step back and letting other people handle it.
Okay,
we
I
kinda
feel you.
what I am trying to do, we've actually expanded to North Carolina, Michigan, and what's the other one? North Carolina, Michigan, and New York. So we've been in those places right now, but I know there's a recruitment coming this spring. I'm just not sure how it's going to work with the whole COVID thing now, but there's definitely something going to be happening in the springs. I just don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah, now we like everything in life, man, especially in these times, we're just taking it one day at a time and just, planning accordingly.
Yeah, man.
100%, man. Just stay safe.
Absolutely.
Did you hear what I said? I was just saying, just tell the listeners where they can find you and your books. And when is No Capping coming out?
Oh, yeah.
The release date.
It's already out. No Cap is already out.
Amazon.
Oh man, I need a copy,
Already
bro.
out. Cap's been out since Christmas.
Yeah, I need a copy.
Yeah, I released
100%.
it on Christmas. So that one's out. And then the other one that I wrote, I dropped 2 books this winter. I dropped that one, and I dropped the positive thinking one that I did, and that was just so I could just get people who would get into the new year with a new attitude.
Is that the
just give them
Out
something
book?
to move forward with. But you can all find all those on Amazon.
Yeah, I saw them. Yep.
Amazon.com. All those books are on there. You can also go to my life coaching page, Andre T. Wright, Transformational Life Coach, and all my stuff is on there as well. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of, man. Like I said, I've been.
I know we got a hold of you.
Taking a
so.
step back from like social media, man, because life is crazy on social media these days. So
Oh, yeah, nah,
I kind of
facts.
try to stay off of it as much as possible, so I keep my zen. But other than that, man, I'm around.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta social distance from social media. I gotta do that every now and then. 100%.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, you are definitely the thermostat, not the thermometer. 100%. If you know what that analogy
Peace.
means.
Bless, I respect that.
If you know what that analogy means. What is it? Yo, it's a pleasure rocking with you, man. We definitely gonna get at you, man. I'm gonna inbox you, man, and I'm gonna put all your socials and where to find you at the end of the video. Justin?
Yo, Dre, we gonna put all your pertinent information on the box at the end of the video. You heard me? Where my country
Okay,
at?
no doubt.
All right, yo, man.
All right.
Peace.
Good talking with you, brother. Peace.
All right, peace, man. No doubt, man.